Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Kinetics monthly webinar. I'm Matt Patterson, and I'm being joined today by Sarah Ng, and we'll go through a little bit of introductions and a bit of an overview for you now. As far as notes for this webinar, we will be recording it, and so you'll have a video to actually share with other members of your team. We'll also save a copy of the presentation itself to the chat, so you can share the presentation notes as well. Please feel free to ask questions throughout the session. You can actually just ask it in the chat under this Teams webinar meeting, and we'll try and address them as we go, or we can actually address them in the Q&A at the end. Please be aware that we are videoing this for posterity and for you to share with your other teammates. So it's my pleasure to introduce Sarah Ng, who is our Microsoft Surface BDM from DataKARE. As you know, DataKARE is a key partner of ours, particularly around Microsoft, and Sarah's expertise is welcomed at this session. Hi, Sarah, how are you?
Hi, Matt. It's nice to be here.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem at all. Maybe just a quick summary of what your background is and where your area of speciality is.
Yeah, sure. So I guess my experience is in the MSP space. Previously, I worked with a lot of SMB customers and enterprise customers. And yeah, I guess my history, going back to when I studied, I did computer science, so I've always been into tech.
Good stuff. Well, you're perfect to have here then. So why don't we kick into it? I'll be handing off to Sarah to cover certain topics during the meeting. But to kick it off, I thought I'd just give you a bit of a playback of Kinetics and AI. We've got 9 webinars we've done this year already, and 7 of them have had a AI or AI security focus. AI is no longer a buzzword. It's a whole lot of New Zealanders jumping in on it. It's really exciting time in the industry to see where AI is being adopted within our clients to transform or create competitive advantage. So that's really cool. Organizations generally want to learn, and we can help with that. Copilot and industry-specific AI tools are being broadly adopted, and what I mean by that, Copilot, ChatGPT. If you've got an ERP solution, it's likely to have some form of generative AI as a chatbot or a help sequence within our own ticketing system. We're actually using a product called Peer, which basically automates some of the processes in simple tickets. But every organization that I talk to is either interested in it, doing something with it, or actually figuring out how they can get benefit from it. So that's really key. We've had a real spectrum of feedback on AI. It goes from, oh, look, I'm totally underwhelmed and it's not really doing for me what it said on the box, to amazing. And I've actually had both pieces of feedback from the same people. So what that means is when they first adopt an AI technology like Copilot, you often are underwhelmed. You might be the crash test dummy who has actually started using it within your organization. Someone in the organization said, give that a crack. And you're going to discover all of the things that potentially are issues from day one. Now, what we are here for is to take you from the journey of what is it to full deployment. And there's some real lessons that we've learned with the customers we've already done that for, but also some awareness that we can give you around a service that we have called DataKARE. And I'll talk briefly about what that looks like. As part of our education, we've got regular AI workshops, and these are free to attend. In fact, we've got one tomorrow, which is fully subscribed. I've got Scott on the phone. He's the one who's been curating the list. And that workshop is an awareness session. It's basically looking at all of the available AI options in the free version of Copilot, and also the paid version, and actually identifying use cases where our clients and us are actually using it for in business today. And then there's also other AI that's available within 365 itself, and then set up and launch. How do you actually get the process going if you haven't utilized it before? How do you actually work with it? So these AI workshops are going to be available every month, and I believe we've already got a backlog of people who are lined up for the next session. What I can do is actually post an availability of that. It's actually on our website to register. So I'll post a link on this later on in the chat. So I mentioned briefly this service we have called DataKARE, and what is it? Well, at the end of the day, AI works with data, and if you've got rubbish data in the first place, and it doesn't have the right permissions, and it doesn't have the right security settings, and it doesn't have the right categorization, so that you can serve up or restrict data as required, you're going to get rubbish out. And so the reality is that those underwhelmed experiences have often been an output of that. So we've got a very clear way of running through how we remediate that, and we call it ARM. So it's about firstly doing an assessment, sort of check the sensitivity, and there's this whole issue with data at the moment, which is overshared. And that means that you're giving too many permissions to too many people, and therefore the wrong data ends up in the wrong hands. So that's a key part of what we do in assess. We also look at the rot data, which is really important to look into. The second stage of what we do with ARM is we remediate, and we look at the policies that need to be deployed across your enterprise to reduce those risk of accessing the wrong data. And then the third stage of that is what we call maintain. And DataKARE is quite unique in that we can actually set ourselves up to ongoing keep an overview, very much like we do with our care managed service. We have tools that run in the background to make sure that you're not creating new data problems within your enterprise. So that's a key learning. Now, we're just going to move forward with the key elements of this topic. You're all aware, no doubt, of ChatGPT and of Copilot. It's been everywhere. Very broad adoption across both learning language models. And the truth is that they sit in your browser, and the background is that there's massive data centers that basically give you an unlimited version of computing power to produce the fastest results. Both of these two brands are actually trying to compete for the fastest response to queries. If you're refining your images, they want the quickest access to the power to give you the best result. And so that is almost unlimited. So these LLMs are really wanting to drive adoption across the broadest set of customers as they can. But what you have to remember is that in the future, this is not going to just be limited by the cloud platforms that you're accessing for the likes of ChatGPT and Copilot. AI is actually moving to the edge. And what we mean by that, and the reason for today's topic, is that deploying AI capabilities directly on edge devices like smartphones, and we see the likes of Siri was probably the most obvious and viewable version of AI that was put in our hands. And that is obviously your language and your voice being interpreted into commands and being done in real time. And so these devices are becoming more and more prevalent, and the requirement for them to be able to handle AI tools within them is becoming more and more prevalent. And that's in the local hardware, which also includes what we're talking about today is, what choices are you going to make for your next laptop or notebook? So what does it give you when you move things to the edge? You reduce the latency, which should mean better performance. It absolutely locks and secures the privacy of your data because it's only available on the local machine. The bandwidth efficiency, saving bandwidth and reducing costs. So basically you're not calling out to the internet. And then reliability. Edge AI can continue to function even when there is limited or no internet connectivity. So these are things that are, really important if you're mobile, if you have a workforce that is out there, and they need access to the tools that you're giving them that require AI. Now I'll just hand over to Sarah here, and she's just going to take us through a few things around the Microsoft roadmap. Over to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Nat. So just speaking specifically around Surface, I did want to highlight that there has just been rapid innovation in such a short time frame, as Matt mentioned. So Surface has been on the AI journey with Microsoft, and they've been working on bringing out the latest silicon in market over the last 5 years. So some of the call outs I want to point out is in 2017, there was an AI built to understand your battery health and how you use it and try to, I guess, minimize, to help monitor battery performance. In 2022, we have the likes of introducing AI into your camera and also starting to build machines with inbuilt NPUs. Copilot was also introduced in 2023, which was only last year. And this year, we've had introduction of AI PC and Copilot PC. And yeah, this, I guess, is a visual just to show that over the last 10 years, AI has really been transforming on devices, and we expect AI innovation to be rapid in the future.
Yeah, and the adoption is just going to probably continue to accelerate, Sarah. I totally agree. So, what are some of the drivers for change that we're looking at here? So for Kinetics, when we're out looking at our user domain of all PCs and laptops, we look after about 4,500 devices on behalf of our clients. And we know that there's 1,362 Windows 10 devices out there. We also know that by October next year, when Microsoft will be disestablishing its support for those Windows 10 devices. So there's a real hard stop that we actually have to look at, because under CARE we don't support non-supported workstations or operating systems unless there's some specific parameters put around them, but the majority of these will require to be upgraded to Windows 11. Windows 10 does support basic AI and Copilot, but has some limitations compared to the Windows 11 version. So when we're looking at the innovations that are coming from a PC perspective in the chipsets and the power of the technology to leverage AI at the edge, which was what we're talking about today, plus the driver around many people are having to upgrade from Windows 10 themselves, which is not inherently built-in AI ready. It makes a lot of sense to actually look at that decision now and combine the two. So over to you, Sarah, if you could just share with us some of the features of Windows 11.
Yeah, for sure. So for example, if you are on Windows 11, you already have Copilot on Windows 11, and you can access this on your lower right-hand corner. There's a little logo there, which is what it looks like. So this is your own personal AI assistant that you can use. When it comes to video calling, like now, there is Windows Studio Effects where there is AI enhancements built into the camera for video calls. So you have the ability to do background blur. You can do natural eye contact mode, and also there's intelligence to help with noise cancelling. So if you have a barky dog like I do, it doesn't actually come across on the camera or on your video. And there are some things such as in Paint, you can edit your photos like a pro by removing background. Just this comes free built into your Windows 11. And same with snipping tool. So if you want to take a screenshot of the slide, for example, you can actually use it to highlight the text, so you don't need to transcribe it. And you can also redact sensitive information such as phone numbers, email addresses. And there's also Smart App Control, which uses AI to predict what apps are safe to download and run on your machine.
Great. Yeah, so some real benefits just straight out of the box from Windows 11 then. So why don't we have a bit of a closer look as to what those technical innovations that are making their way into laptops, notebooks, and other portable devices. And this is what we raised in the invitation. Obviously, if you've been keeping an eye on the share market, there's some major movers in this space, and it's really a lot to do with this particular subject here. So over to you, Sarah.
Yeah, so I guess traditionally in a machine, you have your CPU, which is, I guess, like the brain of your machine, and the GPU, which is used to handle all your graphical operations. Now there's the introduction of an NPU, neural processing unit, which handles your AI workloads. Now, the benefits you gain with offsetting some of your workloads from your CPU to GPU and onto your NPU is better battery life because you're using less power, better performance because you are offsetting some of those workloads onto your NPU. And yeah, so yeah, it excels at AI tasks. So it does free up your CPU and GPU so you can do other things.
Oh, that's awesome. So what about now that we've got this new term that we're hearing out in the marketplace, Copilot plus PCs, what are they, and what AI benefits do they bring to the experience for our clients?
Yeah, so traditionally to be classified as a AI PC, you do need to have an NPU built in. Now, Copilot is a new classification of device where your PC needs to have at least 40 TOPS, which is TOPS stands for trillion operations per second.
Wow.
16, yeah, really, really fast. 16 gigs of memory and 256 gigs of storage. Those, I guess, the prerequisites for being classified as a Copilot plus PC. In market today, you might see some such as the Surface Pro 11, Laptop 7, and a few of the other PCs which are built using Qualcomm Snapdragon chipsets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, here's some of those options here. Can we hear a little bit more about what they look like? And I suppose if you've got anything that's coming up on the future releases.
Yeah, so there are three PC options. So you can choose to go for your standard Windows 11 Pro PC, which doesn't have the NPU chip, the AI PC, which has the NPU chip, but typically they are less than 40 TOPS per second. Sorry, trillion operations per second, and Copilot Plus PC, which is over 40 TOPS. Now, these AI PC and Copilot Plus PCs, these are very new. They were only released, I think, March this year for AI PC, and Copilot Plus PC was in May. So I just see there being more options in the future when it comes to AI PC and Copilot Plus PC.
That's great. And if our clients are interested in finding out more about these, what's the best avenue for us to be able to let them have a look at them or get further information on them, Sarah?
Yeah, so I think first step, reach out to you guys, Kinetics, just
Yep.
because you do understand your customers best, so you are able to help guide them on what options best suit their business. But through DataKARE data, we do have a range of devices which we can help arrange out as loan devices or demo devices that you can utilize and show to your customers.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh, look. Everyone on the call probably knows we've got a great relationship with Acquire, who are our procurement organization, and we're happy to provide whatever information you need to make your next choice. So just moving on to a bit of a breakdown of the benefits of these exciting new devices and the ways that they can actually free up AI at the edge. Would you mind just going through quickly some of these?
Yeah, for sure. So because you're offsetting some of your workloads from your CPU and GPU to your NPU, you are able to get all day battery life. And what that looks like is up to 19 hours. So, if you're someone like me that's always on the go, so leave home with a fully charged device, I'm out on the road with meetings with customers. And when I'm back at home, I still have battery on my device.
Yeah.
Now, there are some AI-powered features, which is just newly released to Copilot Plus PC. These are features such as recall, where it is an advanced search function. So if you can describe it, you can find it.
Okay.
There are productivity tools and creativity tools such as Co-Create. So similar, if you open up Paint and you're able to describe something, it can actually help translate that text into an image for you. So, it could be good. If you don't have a marketing department, you can use them to help generate images. And yeah, there's the Copilot built-in features. So it's used to help streamline some of your tasks. So for example, you can type it in to say, help me turn my machine into dark mode. So you don't need to browse through all your settings to find it. You can actually get Copilot to do it for you.
Okay.
And widgets and customization. So you're able to, I guess, dock your workspaces more appropriately and have different desktops for, I guess, different tasks you want to perform.
Right.
And when it comes to security and privacy, there is built-in security features, ensuring your personal data doesn't actually leave the device and goes into the internet. It's all stayed on the device. So stuff such as Windows Hello, when you sign in, that's facial recognition, that stays on the device.
Okay.
And yeah, with local data processing, it reduces the need to send data up to the cloud. So that ties into your privacy as well.
That's great. Look, a huge range of benefits there. So thank you for covering that off, Sarah. So look, at the point where I just want to do a bit of a summary, and then we can go into Q&A, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. I suppose the summary is, if you're wanting to build AI awareness, then please attend our workshops. There's a whole range of ways we can engage with you to build that awareness. It might be via a subsequent webinar like this, or it might be a face-to-face workshop, but we're here to help you build that awareness and knowledge for you to make the right decision. If you're wanting to assess your readiness for AI, i.e. your organization's ability to take on AI tools like Copilot, we've got a very well-rounded DataKARE service, which includes, as I said, the assess, remediate, and the maintain aspects of how we look at your data environment to make sure that there is not risks that you don't want to get out there. And also, it also capitalizes on the opportunities that will produce the best results, take you from a underwhelmed to an amazed perspective of your AI experience. And if you're considering migration for Windows 10 devices, which we know for a fact there's 1,362 of them in our customers' fleet at the moment, you must be thinking about those devices that are out there. Please consider Copilot Plus PC or AI PC around your next hardware buying decision. And also talk to Kinetics. We can help you and keep up to date and informed with the choices that are available for you. So that's pretty much it for what we wanted to cover in today's session. I will just go to the Q&A slide now and point out that we have another webinar lined up for next month, and it's a goodie. It's focusing on the fact that cyber insurance has been in the market for many years, but cyber insurers have never been busier. And the reality is you need to understand, based on your current cyber insurance policy, are you really insured for the next cyber attack? Have you covered the right elements to make sure that your claim will be honoured? And we've got an industry expert coming to join us with that. Registration link is here, and I promise that this QR code is safe. I know we send out to all of our clients things to be distrusting of these links, but please feel free to use this one. And it's also available on our website for registration for next month. So that's pretty much it for today's presentation. Is there any questions? Scott, here's a good question.
One question, yes.
Yep.
You've got that, Matt.
Go for it.
What will supply and demand be like for PCs next year, from Guy? Thoughts on that, Sarah?
Yeah, so some of the statistics I've seen has shown that the demand for PCs, Windows 10 PCs that aren't able to be upgraded to Windows 11, there's, I think, I can't remember the numbers, but it's in like the millions. Now, they are predicting that that there probably won't be enough devices to fulfill all orders. So that's why we're encouraging people to start thinking today rather than waiting for the end of life of Windows 10.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not, there's some broader constraints because there's a larger number being updated around the world. And there may be constraints. So it sounds like a sales pitch, doesn't it? But I think all we can do is reflect what the current state is. So it looks like you need to get in there.
It might also be you may not get the device you exactly want. So if you want consistency across your fleet, or you have particular devices you prefer, they may not be available as well. Another question, so order new PCs by March next year.
That looks like a statement.
Yes.
Happy to deal with it in March for sure.
And Guy Reach, happy to have that chat with you if you'd like to, offline and person.
And I guess I also want to touch on some of the driving factors around the, I guess, predicted increased demand. So, COVID, that was about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And overnight people were working from home. So there was a massive, I guess, demand for laptops and portable machines.
Yep.
So you have people buying devices which are coming to the end of their life cycle as well, so 4 to 5 years. So that on top of the Windows 10 is just, I guess, a bit of a perfect storm for creating a lot of demand for replacement devices.
Good answer. Thank you, Sarah. Is there any other questions there, Scott?
No other questions. Thanks. Thanks for the presentation, Sarah and Matt.
Okay, thank you all for attending. If you'd like to register for the next webinar, the link is there, and we've enjoyed hosting you today. If you have any questions, please feel free to talk to your account manager. Thanks, everybody.
Cool. Thanks all.